What's a day like?
Wake up hungry and go to sleep hungry. Just to be able to lay my head down at night with the shower and know that I wake up tomorrow and that's still going to be there for me is a major thing.
Have you ever walked through the streets of Maryland and noticed the shadows that linger beneath its bustling cities? Homelessness here is a growing crisis that can no longer be ignored. Thousands of residents face freezing nights without shelter, caught in a cycle of poverty, addiction, and systemic neglect. Maryland's rising housing costs and stretched social services deepen the divide. This is not just a statistic, it's a human story of survival amid struggle. Today, we uncover the urgent reality behind the headlines. Don't forget to like and share if you find this video meaningful, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. Overview of the homelessness in Maryland. Homelessness in Maryland remains a pressing and complex issue affecting thousands across the state, despite Maryland's economic strengths and rich resources. Many residents, ranging from single adults to families, veterans, and youth, face the harsh reality of living without stable housing. The problem is fueled by soaring housing costs, a severe shortage of affordable units, and stagnant wages that leave many unable to keep up with rent. Compounding these challenges are mental health and substance abuse issues, which disproportionately affect the homeless population but often go inadequately addressed due to limited access to comprehensive care. Addressing homelessness in Maryland requires coordinated, sustained efforts focusing on expanding affordable housing, improving health and social services, and tackling underlying poverty and discrimination. Only through comprehensive strategies and community collaboration can Maryland move towards ensuring everyone has a safe, stable place to call home. Homelessness. The state of homelessness, detailed statistics. Homelessness in Maryland is a serious social issue impacting diverse populations across the state. Each night, an estimated 2,500 to 3,000 people lack stable housing, facing uncertainty and hardship. This crisis touches many demographics, but notably, the number of homeless seniors has surged dramatically. Between 2018 and 2024, homelessness among people aged 65 and older increased by 77%, rising from 677 to nearly 1,200 individuals, signaling an alarming trend for this vulnerable group. What do you think are the biggest challenges facing the homeless in Maryland today? Share your thoughts below. Next, we'll explore the economic and social factors fueling homelessness and why the problem persists despite ongoing efforts. Economic and social conditions play a significant role in the homelessness crisis in Maryland. According to the U.S. Census 2022, over 20% of residents live below the poverty line, struggling to make ends meet with limited income. Many families and individuals survive paycheck to paycheck, vulnerable to losing their homes due to sudden expenses, job loss, or rising rent costs. This precarious financial situation pushes a growing number of people into homelessness, highlighting how deeply economic instability affects housing security across the state. Support infrastructure in places like Baltimore offers some relief, with a network of shelters providing over 1,200 beds, including facilities like Helping Up Mission and city-run centers. However, these shelters often fall short, especially during the harsh winter months when demand spikes and temperatures plunge. The shortage of beds leaves many without safe refuge on the coldest nights. Considering this, what more do you think Maryland could do to improve support for the homeless? How can communities come together to ensure no one is left out in the cold? Composition of the homeless population. The homeless population in Maryland is diverse, reflecting deep social and economic disparities across different groups. Black and African American individuals make up about 60% of the homeless population, despite representing only 31% of the state's overall residents. This disproportion highlights long-standing inequalities and the lingering effects of racial discrimination in accessing housing and support services. Older adults are another growing segment among the homeless in Maryland. Since 2018, the number of people aged 65 and over experiencing homelessness has surged by 77%, rising from 677 to nearly 1,200. This trend is especially concerning as aging individuals face unique vulnerabilities and barriers to stable housing. Families with children also represent a significant share, accounting for roughly 30% of homeless households. This equates to nearly 57,000 families struggling with housing insecurity, placing children at risk of instability and disrupted development. Youth without caregivers are a critical part of the homeless population, with about 35,000 individuals under 25 experiencing homelessness on any given night. Of these, 9% are minors under 18 years old, facing heightened challenges and risks. Veterans, numbering around 300 in Maryland's homeless population, are particularly vulnerable and require tailored support to address their specific needs. Women constitute approximately 40% of the homeless, and members of the LGBTQ+ community face homelessness at rates higher than the general population, often due to discrimination and family rejection. Understanding the complex makeup of homeless in Maryland helps shed light on the varied experiences and specific needs of each group. What do you think are the most urgent areas for intervention? Next, let's explore how mental health issues and substance abuse compound these challenges and complicate efforts to find lasting solutions. The critical link between mental health, addiction, and homelessness. Mental health issues and substance abuse are both causes and consequences closely linked to homelessness. A significant percentage of the homeless population struggles with severe mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and major depression. These conditions are often difficult to treat effectively, especially given the lack of accessible healthcare resources. Many individuals face long wait times for treatment programs, which hinders timely intervention and recovery. In Maryland, nearly a third of people experiencing homelessness report struggles with substance use, particularly opioids. Drug use often becomes a coping mechanism to endure the hardships of life on the streets. Unfortunately, limited treatment facilities and overwhelming demand create barriers for those seeking help, making it difficult to break free from addiction. The combination of mental illness and substance abuse significantly raises the risk of losing housing, makes maintaining employment a challenge, and complicates social reintegration. This cycle also increases vulnerability to chronic health problems, exposure to violence, and encounters with the criminal justice system. These overlapping issues trap many homeless in Maryland in a cycle that is difficult to escape without coordinated support. How do you think communities and policymakers can better address the intersection of mental health, addiction, and homelessness? Understanding these complex challenges is crucial as we move forward to examine the root causes that lead individuals to become homeless in the first place. Root causes of homelessness. The root causes of homelessness are complex and interconnected, especially in Maryland, where the housing market and social factors create significant barriers for many residents. One of the most pressing issues is the skyrocketing cost of housing. For instance, particularly those earning minimum wage or working part-time jobs, struggling to afford basic shelter. Alongside high housing costs is a severe shortage of affordable homes. Maryland currently has only 33 affordable units available for every 100 extremely low-income households, those earning less than 30% of the area median income. This scarcity forces many into fierce competition for limited housing or even eviction when they cannot keep up with rising rents. Poverty and unstable employment also play major roles. Over 21% of Baltimore's population lives below the poverty line, translating to roughly 600,000 people across the state facing economic hardship. Although unemployment rates might appear low, many jobs are unstable or underpaid, making it difficult for families to maintain steady housing. Mental health challenges and substance abuse further complicate the issue. A significant number of individuals facing homelessness struggle with untreated mental illness or addiction, which reduces their ability to find and keep stable housing. Finally, gaps in policies and support systems contribute to ongoing struggles. While programs exist to assist those in need, funding and resources are often insufficient or unevenly allocated. Priorities frequently favor luxury developments over affordable housing projects, leaving vulnerable populations without necessary options. Understanding these root causes helps us appreciate the scale and complexity of homelessness in Maryland. What solutions do you think would make the biggest difference in addressing these barriers? Next, we'll examine the current efforts and programs in place aimed at alleviating homelessness and supporting those affected. Current support efforts and programs. Maryland has implemented a variety of programs and support systems aimed at alleviating the growing homelessness crisis. One of the cornerstone efforts is the Housing Choice Voucher Program, funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. This program provides over 22,000 vouchers across the state, with about 9,500 allocated specifically for Baltimore residents. These vouchers help low-income families and individuals afford housing in the private market. However, the demand far exceeds supply, and the waiting list in Baltimore alone has swelled to more than 25,000 families, leaving many in prolonged uncertainty. In addition to housing vouchers, Maryland maintains an extensive network of shelters and temporary housing facilities. Year-round, the state offers approximately 1,200 shelter beds, with this number rising to about 1,500 during the harsh winter months. Facilities like the Weinberg Housing and Resource Center not only provide safe beds but also deliver crucial support services to residents, such as case management and counseling, helping individuals move toward stability. Financial assistance and social services also play a vital role in preventing homelessness. Between 2021 and 2023, Maryland distributed $831 million in aid to help over 110,000 households avoid eviction, a critical step in stopping homelessness before it starts. Additionally, a $60 million fund supports long-term housing initiatives that integrate health and social services for vulnerable populations. Rapid rehousing programs receive dedicated funding as well, with $8 million earmarked to help individuals transition quickly from shelters to permanent homes. Healthcare and community organizations like Healthcare for the Homeless and the Salvation Army contribute essential material and emotional support. Their efforts provide food, clothing, medical care, and counseling, addressing the multifaceted needs of people experiencing homelessness. Despite these comprehensive programs, the challenges remain daunting. So, can Maryland better streamline and expand these services to more effectively support the homeless in Maryland? The critical barriers to solving homelessness in Maryland. One of the most persistent challenges facing efforts to reduce homelessness in Maryland is the severe shortage of affordable housing. The demand far exceeds the available supply, leaving thousands without a stable place to live. This scarcity is compounded by long waiting lists for housing vouchers, some of which stretch for years. Many individuals and families find themselves caught in limbo, hoping their number comes up before they face eviction or worse, ending up on the streets. Rising housing costs only deepen the crisis. As rents continue to climb faster than incomes, more people are pushed beyond their means and forced into homelessness. This trend is particularly devastating for low-income residents who are already struggling to make ends meet. Access to mental health care and addiction treatment remains limited, presenting another significant barrier. Many people experiencing homelessness in Maryland face these challenges without adequate support, making it harder for them to regain stability. The gaps in healthcare services often perpetuate cycles of crisis and homelessness. Moreover, systemic racial inequalities and discrimination further complicate the issue. People of color disproportionately bear the brunt of housing insecurity, facing obstacles that limit their access to affordable housing and supportive resources. Together, these challenges create a complex landscape that demands urgent and sustained attention to effectively address homelessness in Maryland. Without tackling these interconnected barriers, lasting solutions will remain out of reach. Comprehensive solutions to combat homelessness. To effectively address homelessness in Maryland, a comprehensive and multifaceted approach is essential. One of the foundational steps is to increase the availability of affordable housing. This can be achieved by utilizing public land more efficiently and encouraging public-private partnerships to accelerate the construction of affordable units. Such collaborations not only bring in necessary capital, but also foster innovation in housing solutions, ensuring that more people have access to safe and affordable homes. A proven strategy gaining traction is the Housing First model, which prioritizes providing stable housing before addressing other challenges, such as mental health or substance use disorders. By giving individuals a secure place to live first, it becomes easier to offer tailored support services that help them regain stability and independence. Long-term investments in support services are equally important, especially for vulnerable groups like those with mental illness, substance addiction, and veterans. These services include counseling, medical care, and case management that address the underlying issues contributing to homelessness. Job training programs and pathways to stable employment must be expanded as well. Providing vulnerable populations with skills and job opportunities creates a sustainable route out of homelessness by fostering financial independence and self-sufficiency. Addressing systemic barriers is crucial, too. Eliminating racial discrimination in housing allocation and prioritizing minority groups can reduce inequities that disproportionately affect many experiencing homelessness in Maryland. Finally, increasing resources for short-term financial assistance, legal aid, and eviction prevention can help families avoid homelessness before it starts. These safety nets catch people before crises become entrenched and support swift interventions. What solutions do you think could have the greatest impact in ending homelessness in Maryland? Through coordinated efforts and thoughtful policies, Maryland can move toward a future where homelessness is no longer a persistent crisis but a rare and manageable challenge. Conclusion. Homelessness in Maryland is a complex and deeply rooted issue that demands the collective effort of government, private sectors, and the community. Sustainable change comes not from quick fixes, but through comprehensive policies, strong public-private partnerships, and genuine empathy from all of us. Imagine a Maryland where everyone has a safe place to call home, a chance to live with dignity, and the opportunity to thrive. That future is possible, but it requires us to act together. What role do you think you can play in making this vision a reality? How can communities better support those facing homelessness? We want to hear your thoughts. Please share your opinions and ideas in the comments below. Your voice matters in this ongoing conversation. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected as we explore these important stories together.